Unleash the fury! Crush them all! For honor and glory!
You have reached the Police Officers Coalition CAC.
Shalom, brother Yazaliah. Shalom, Mike. Shalom, brother Lamar. How you Bruce doing, man? No, we had some rainy weather out here yesterday, but all praise to the Most High, we made do. And we didn't get to go out to camp, but we had most definitely had class. All praise. Pray that brothers and sisters remember we got Passover coming up. Shalom, brother Ronald Lewis. Shalom, Mike. Remember we got Passover coming up. And making sure that brothers and sisters are not buying too much leaven. You know, remember it's symbolic as well, that you're not bringing any sin into your house, to your body. That way you don't have a lot of sin to get rid of. No, go ahead. Ask the brother Lamar. Go ahead. Yeah, forgive me. Working at this construction job, it messed my sinus up with this dust every damn where. So y'all have to excuse me on that. Yeah, go ahead. We're waiting for brothers and sisters to come in. Like I say, shoot, that's what we're here for. Any questions, any smoke, any comments, like I say, whatever subjects biblically or any other topics for that matter. But the main subject is the Bible. Most High God has all of the answers in the scriptures. About Abraham lineage, okay. About Abraham's lineage. Yeah, forgive me. Excuse me. Oh, she said he was Arab. No. Technically, he was from Ur of the Chaldees. So he was not Arab. He stayed in that region, but he was not Arab. And you gave a what up? Genesis chapter 13, verse 14. Let's read it right. Yeah, he's descendant of Ur the Chaldees. The Chaldees are a Shemitic people. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 13. Shalom, Sister Mary Houston. House of Brother Daniel. Shalom, sis, to you and the fam. Battle Axis Houston. How y'all doing, sis? I'm gonna Try to give you a call too, sis. Shalom, Abraham. Shalom, Mark. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 13 and verse number 14. And it reads, And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes and look from the place where there are northward and southward and eastward and westward. Is this the one that you wanted on? Because even when you read the book of Genesis, chapter 11 and verse 10, it tells you about Shem's line to Abraham. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 11 and verse number 10, and it reads, These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 years and begat Salah. So you have Shem have Arphaxad have Salah. We're just going to jump down. Verse 14, Salah lived. Verse 15, Salah lived and he begat Eber. This is where the word Hebrew comes from. So Abraham is a Hebrew. Now you have many tribes that were also Hebrew as well, just like you have Hebrew. Technically, Edomites are Hebrew. Technically, Ishmael is Hebrew. Moab would be considered Hebrew because they come up out of those lineages as well, out of the line of Shem. Verse 16, and Eber lived 40 and 30 years and begat Peleg. So it's showing you that chosen lineage that the Most High God was dealing with. It's literally showing you from Shem all the way down to Abram. Said he begat Peleg, and Abram lived and begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reuel. I'm just going to skip through Reuel, verse 23. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. We'll jump down. And Nahor lived 9 and 20 years and begat Terah. That's verse 24. Make sure y'all just underline a certain points because this is showing you the lineage all the way down from Shem. Remember, Shem is one of Noah's sons. So now we got Terah, and out of Nahor, and out of Terah, we got who? Abram. Terah is Abram's father. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So it's showing you that he's not Arab. He cannot be Arab because the Arabs come out of Abraham. Remember, Ishmael would be the first Arabian, basically, or Arabs. Now, you have many different tribes in that specific land today, like going into Midian and so on and so forth. Midianites, Saudi Arabians. You have many different tribes over there, but he would be a Hebrew. Remember that they come from him, so he could not be them. Let's jump over. There's the book of the book of Genesis, chapter 16 and verse number 11. The book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 11. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord had heard thy affliction. That's what the word Ishmael is. Ishmael is the father of the Arabians, of the Arabs. So Abraham could not have been a Arab. Verse 12, and he shall be a wild man. His hand shall be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. So he was not a Arab. Cannot. But you want to make sure that you go to Genesis chapter 11, verse 10, and read that lineage all the way down. Like I said, in Revelation chapter 5, verses 8 through 9 is the 4 and 20 elders represents us, because in verse 9 it said that the elders sung a new song and Christ redeemed us. Yeah, they are as a representation of us in the third heavens to a degree. And that's where you kind of get into the deepness of the scriptures. Let's go to the book of Revelations. Chapter 5. Because remember, it's our job. The Most High God put us on earth to mimic the things that are on in heaven as it is on earth. And that's our job. Even like how he showed Moses to make things just like how it is in the third heavens. So the Most High God has a tabernacle. He has an altar. He has a Ark of the Covenant. He has those same things that the Most High God had Moses and his people set up on earth. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 8, and it reads, "And when he had taken the book, the four beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints." So we know that these beasts, the four beasts, are different types of angels that sit before the Most High, that give him glory, honor, and praises 24/7, 360 days a year. These 24 elders represents the council that is in the third heavens, other angels. Not that the Most High God needs it, but he's showing them that, guess what? It's as a representation that we should mimic on earth to do what? Nothing without counsel. Let's keep reading. Verse number 9, "And they sang a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by the blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nations, and had made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth." And this is always a great precept to use for Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9, because it's telling us he had redeemed us. Who had Christ redeemed? Easy precept that brothers and sisters should know. It's the book of Luke chapter 1 verse 68, and it reads, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people." That's plain upon tables. Christ didn't come to redeem all souls, and we're just literally reading Bible verses. And apologetics get mad at us because we're literally just going precept upon precept. You have to show us a scripture where he redeemed everyone in the world. We just don't read that. They're literally taking scriptures out of context. He only made us unto kings and unto gods. That's why we have Exodus chapter 19, verse 6. Remember, these things are grounded in the Old Testament, saying no other things other than these. Also, that new song goes into Exodus chapter 15. This is the book of Exodus chapter 15 and verse 1. "Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he had triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider had he thrown in the sea. The Lord is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my God. I will prepare him a habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him. My father's God." That's key right there, man. It's plain upon tables. That song that we'll be singing is how the Most High God is taking down these nations. It says a new song. People literally think that it's new, but it's not. It's the song which we had before, because you had to say it was new because our people wasn't, guess what, wasn't singing this song. Now we'll be singing this song in the spirit. Shalom, brother Keith. Shalom, ma. Yeah, Khan, all praise. Black King, shalom, good afternoon, sir. Everybody's mad about Jasmine Crockett. We should not be voting for none of these politicians. What do you think, and what scriptures say we should use? Well, the scriptures is plain now. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 14. We're not being partakers in that. We're not being partakers in that. It's our job to set up our government and our people in charge. This is not our government, even though our people think that they can be in there. Esau has already made contingency plans for that. not to make sure that our people still don't have no political power, even if they do get voted. I mean, come on, man. Esau is smarter than that. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17 and verse 14, and it reads, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. So we wanted to be like the other nations and have a king set up over us. We didn't need to do that because the Most High God was our king. All we needed to do was seek counsel from him. But since we wanted to be like the other nations, the Most High God gave it to us at that time. And we seen how that worked out. Verse 15, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose, one from among thy brethren. Thou shalt set him over, thou shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. And I understand what Sister Jasmine, sometimes she do great things, but remember, she's still up under the gauze of unclean spirits dealing in politics. Politics does nothing for our people. Our people have been in politics for a number of years. Nothing has really changed. Nothing has. It just really happened. I'm just gonna be honest. You know, you have to fight these things on a higher level, and our people just are not in positions to be able to do that. This is a precept we were just going over, even with Brother Keith. Brother Keith he already know. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 14. So this is the precept on us not partaking in any of this system. We just got to be honest, man. All we have to do, remember, we're in captivity. We have to keep the commandments, repent to the Most High God, do what we're supposed to do to take care of our families, and pray that the Most High God send Christ. That's the best that we can hope for, man. I'm just going to be honest. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4, and it reads, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Meaning, come up out of these ways, this system. By us partaking in that, you putting yourself deeper in the dive. Because a lot of times, in order to partake and to have some type of power in Esau's system, you got to be doing something. He gonna want something in return, man. That's just straight up. So it's our job to come up out of that. Shalom, not your mama. Shalom, sis. How you doing, sis? Shalom, sister Walina. How you doing, sis? Shalom, honey badger. Q40. Yeah, come on. That's what we're here for, man. You should have a lot of questions, honey badger. Like you said, as you're reading this Bible. That's right. Shalom, sister Adara. Sis said in Psalm 71, verse 5, Lord is lowercase instead of all caps. Does this mean that King David isn't talking about the Most High? Is he talking about the Messiah? So in a lot of contexts, that's exactly what it means. The writers, King James, they kind of put those things in emphasis. So brothers and sisters, it can help you discern. That's always a good question. Because in certain Bibles, it's not. Because even in the Greek, they didn't have any capital letters, you know. But like we said, we do subscribe to the King James only. Let's get that right quick. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 71 and verse number 5. And it reads, this is the book of Psalms, 71 and verse 5, and it reads, for thou art my hope, O Lord God, thou art my trust from my youth. So, and this is what I'm talking about. So in yours, it doesn't have it capitalized, sis, because in mine, it has it capitalized. But you will see in certain parts that it does have capitalized Lord and lowercase Lord, showing difference between the Most High and Christ. So mine doesn't have it in there, sis. Mine is capitalized. Let me give another example. Let me look at it. Because certain Bibles put it differently, word it differently. Like in my other Bible, it may, and I'm going to look at that one. Let me check this one. 110 and 1. So even in mine, so prime example, another example is Psalms 110 and verse 1. So we see the Lord said unto my Lord. So this Lord here is all caps. And then the next Lord is just capital L with the rest lowercase, putting the emphasis on it. So you will see that in there at times as well. This is the book of Psalms 110 and verse number 1. The Lord said unto my Lord, meaning Yahweh said to Yahweh Shah. The Most High said to Christ, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. So he's showing you emphasis in this context. David said, his Lord said unto my Lord, showing you that distinct difference. Now, mine doesn't have it in Psalms 71, but it has it in Psalms 110. Khan says, you and the family. Shalom, Sister Dara, house of Brother Azariah. Shalom. So in Psalm 71, verse 5, yeah, in mine, I would say that's talking about the Most High. Mine, let me see. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 71, and I'm going to start at verse 1. We'll read down a little bit. This is going into a rock and a fortress. This is the book of Psalms 71 and verse 1. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. Deliver me in thy righteousness and cause me to escape. Incline thine ear unto me and save me. Be thou strong, Salaki. Be thou my strong habitation, whereunto I may continually resort. Thou hast given commandment to save me, for thou art my rock and my fortress. So it's giving us a little bit more emphasis. We know that Christ is the rock. Verse number 4. That's why it is pivotal. Like we say, sometimes brothers and sisters have to be careful because sometimes you can pre-speak. That's why we do like to kind of read from the beginning of the chapter to get more context. Even reading the subtitles, it says a rock and a fortress. And we know that the rock of the Most High is Christ. So verse number 4, deliver me, O my God, out of the hand of the wicked, out of the hand of the unrighteous and cruel man. For thou art my hope, O Lord God. Thou art my trust from my youth. By thee have I beholden up from the womb. Thou art he that took me out of my mother's bowels, and praise shall be continually of thee, as I wonder unto many, but thou art my strong refuge. Let my mouth be filled with thy praise and with thy honor all the day. So in this context, yes, I would say that this is the Most High. Now, when we jump up, we can see where it's going. Verse 3 goes into Christ because we know that Christ is the rock. Let me get that. Let's go to the book 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Y'all bear with me while we answer this. I know brothers and sisters putting the questions in the comment. Be patient with me. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse number 4, and it reads, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. So we see in the context where Christ is the rock. You see in other contexts where Peter is the rock. So, but that main rock is talking about Christ. Another precept. Let's go to the book of, was it 2 Samuel 23 and 3. Another precept. Write these precepts down, showing you that Christ is the rock in verses 3. And then the context, like many times, switches. So you have to be careful. You also have to pray that the Most High God give us a discerning spirit. Because just like any conversation between people get added into the conversation all the time. And conversations switch to different topics and different people. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 23. What did I say? In verse number 3. It's also one in 22 and 47. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 23, and verse number 3. And it reads, the God of Israel said, The rock of Israel spake to me. So we have a separation. The God of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me. He that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of God. So we have two entities here. You have the God of Israel said, the rock of Israel. Now, come on, who is that? We know that this is Christ. I mean, come on. This is plain. Jump up to another. 2 Samuel chapter 22 and verse 47. And it reads, the Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be the God of the rock of my salvation. Telling you plainly, showing you two different entities. So in Psalm 71, when we go back, Psalm 71 and verse number 3 is the book of Psalm 71 and verse 3. Be thou my strong habitation, whereunto I may continually resort. Thou hast given commandment to save me, for thou art my rock and my fortress. So in verse 3, we see that this is going into Christ with the precepts that we just pulled. But then when you jump down to verse 5, for thou art my hope, or Lord God, thou art my trust from my youth. We kind of see that this is a tribute to the Most Highness, Yahweh. So you have to be careful with that context, because not all the time will it be capitalized, showing emphasis for the Most High, versus it being non-capitalized, showing or putting emphasis on Christ. You understand that, sis? Shalom, brother Don Israel. How you doing, huh? Says, remember thy congregation which thou hast purchased of old, the rock of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed. This Mount Zion, wherein thou hast dwelt. Great precept. Brother Honey Badger said in Numbers is the 2/3 that will be destroyed, part of the 494,400, or is it part of the 144K? Remember, the 2/3, the only number that is given, Brother Honey Badger, is the 144,000. Then it talks about another mixed multitude, which is not numbered. It just know it's going to be a lot of us. So we have to understand in Revelation chapter 7 and 9, that's just talking about the men of Israel. God's government, God's army is going to be set up on the earth. That's not talking about all Israelites. Christians get this mixed up all the time. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And they were sealed in 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So we see it's going to be 12,000 leaders of each tribe out of the nation of Israel. How do we know that? Because the Most High God said that Israel is as the sand of the sea. How can Israel be as the sand of the sea and it's only 144,000 of them? That makes no sense. So when we jump down to what Christians love to abuse and misconstrue, verse 9, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne, before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Now, who is this? It's talking about other men, women, and children of Israel that is not of the 144,000. How do we know that? Because we literally just broke this down last week. Let's jump over a chapter, because Revelation chapter 14 and verse 3 explains it. This is the book of Revelation chapter 14 and verse 3. A lot of times when brothers want answers to questions when you're reading the scriptures, just read a little bit longer in the next chapter or the chapter before. This is how the Most High God answers. He'll either answer it before or he'll answer it afterwards. A lot of times you have to put in a little bit more work and reading. This is the book of Revelation chapter 14 verse 3. And they sang as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. So this is how we know these are men of the 144,000. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, the first fruits unto God and the Lamb. Let me jump up. Verse 14. In verse 1, Salakia. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. So we see we have 144,000 standing on the Mount Zion. Now let's go to the Apocrypha, where this story is filled in, and it shows you who this great multitude is. Salakia. That's why it's people that brothers and sisters write these precepts down. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2 and verse number 38, and it reads, Arise up and stand. Behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and having received glorious garments of the Lord. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those that are of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. The number of thy children, whom thou longest for, is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed. This is the point, verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number. Wait a minute, we just read in Revelation 7 and 4 that it's 144,000. Now we reading over here that it's a number that he couldn't number. That's that great multitude that you read about in Revelation 7 and 9, which is who? Take thy number, O Zion. This is plain, showing you that that great multitude is other Israelites that are not a part of the 144,000. Because a lot of our people don't understand that when Christ comes up, he's going to rule with his government. It's going to be the Most High, Christ, the 12 disciples, the 144,000. That is his government on the planet Earth. That is going to be the ruling class, the powers to enforce to enforce God's laws on the planet. Let's get one more precept. Let's go to the book of Matthew to prove that. Go to the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse number 28. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So Christ is telling the disciples, when I make my second coming and y'all come back in the regeneration, y'all are going to be sitting on thrones, 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. That's how we can say that Christ, the 12 disciples, the 144,000. And then you'll have other Israelites that are not a part of that. Do you understand that, Honey Badger? Shalom, Watsonville. Shalom. Shalom, brother, body. Like I said, apologetics would continue to buck against the word because Israel continued to follow the custom. That's right. Shalom, brother Azariah in the building. Cain, Shalom, soldier. You call, Shalom, man. Israel must understand our identity according to the laws. Shalom, brother Timothy McLean. It says, I do believe the Israelites are black, but Lamentations 5 and 10 got me a little confused. Can you explain this in more detail? Let's get it. We know certain color scriptures that can throw brothers and sisters off, but you have to get the context behind it. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 10, and it reads, Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. So even when you go and look up these things about what hunger does to you, it causes us to, guess what, to lose that brightness in our color. I don't know if brothers and sisters kind of understand about Israelite or so-called Black Americans. When we do kind of, if you take care of your skin real good, like we see many of the sisters, a lot of sisters have really good skin and they have a certain glow about their skin. Even certain brothers that take care of their skin, they have a certain glow about them. But it's literally telling them, remember, not every scripture that we read about in color is literally talking about color. And we understand this. But remember, scriptures in the Bible have double fold meanings. This is where Christians struggle with. And they just don't want to see black people in the Bible anyway, unless we enslave them. But it's telling you plainly, our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. So we use this. Remember, in certain contexts, scriptures that have color in them means a term of mourning, but it still does not negate that he said that his skin is black. Job said that his skin was black upon him. Let's get the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30. That's why precept must be upon precept. This is the book of Job, chapter 30 and verse number 30, and it reads, "My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat." So even Job was saying that his skin was black upon me. And we know that it doesn't mean like my phone. It means different shades of brown. The deeper you dig, the darker it gets. So in the Lamentations, remember the book of Lamentations is a book of mourning. So they're talking about the mournings or the hail that they were catching up under the Babylonians. The Babylonians were starving them out. They were killing them. It was terrible things going on at that time. So when we read Lamentations 5 and 10, yes, it's talking about them mourning and the affliction, but that still doesn't negate that it tells you that his skin is black upon him. How do we know? That's why we went to Job chapter 30, verse 30. Do you understand that, Timothy McLean? Sister Mary Hughes said, "Captain, I'm reading in Isaiah. Can you give me some understanding of chapter 27? So chapter 27, I know we kind of covered this. It's just going into Leviathan. Now, remember, Leviathan has two contexts too. Yes, it's literally talking about a sea creature. But remember, the Most High God compares men to what? To beasts. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 27 and verse number 1. And it reads, "In that day, the Lord with his sore and great strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea." So remember, when we go over these things, discernment plays a big part in the scriptures. The first precept that brothers and sisters always want to have on their mind is this precept. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 11 and verse number 6, one of the all-time classics. Brothers and sisters have to write and meditate on this precept. This is the book of Job, chapter 11 and verse number 6, and it reads, "And that he will show thee the secrets of wisdom." Meaning the Most High God is letting us know it's a secret to understanding the Bible. It's secrets all in here. He's given us one great secret that we can use to understand the Bible more. "And that he will show thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is." Meaning many scriptures in the Bible have what? Have double meanings. So in one point, we know that Leviathan, when we read in the scriptures, is a sea creature that the Most High God created when we read Second Ezra. But we also know that the Most High God compares men to beasts. The latter part is what the context is going into. Let me keep reading. "Now, therefore, know therefore that God exacted of thee less than thine iniquity deserved." The point that we want in there, many scriptures have double meaning. So when we go back to Isaiah 27, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 27 and verse 1. "In that day, the Lord with his sword and great strong sword shall punish Leviathan." Who is the sword of the Most High? Who is the right hand of the Most High? This is going into Christ. The Most High is going to use Christ to destroy Leviathan. Now let's see what Leviathan is. It says the piercing serpent. So we know one attribute, he's a serpent. What other nation has attributes of a serpent? Because what are the attributes of a serpent? They bite you. When they bite you, they have poison, they have venomous. Remember, this is on a spiritual level. The Most High God is just using this as a metaphor. And the snake is a perfect metaphor for the so-called Edomites or the Caucasians, because their venom is their mouthpiece. The things that they say, their media, which bite our people, and guess what? Cause our people to be carried away of their venom or their poison. All of this is just hip talk, parables, and metaphors. Let's get a precept. Let's get a couple of precepts. Let's deal with serpent. What I want. Hosea or Micah. This is the book of Micah, chapter 7 and verse number 17. And it reads, they shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth. They shall be afraid of the Lord our God, and shall seek and shall fear because of him. So we see that this particular nation is going to lick the dust like a serpent, meaning what? Be on a lower level. This is not talking about the snake in the garden where he was slithering around what people think. No, this is talking about a nation of people that have serpent-like characteristics. This same serpent back in the beginning. Just talking about a nation of people with these serpent-like characteristics. That's all that this is going into. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse number 1. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. So we see that this serpent was more trickier than any beast of the field. What is this beast going into? Is it talking about a literal snake? No, it is not. That's why you have to read the Bible precept upon precept. Because if you don't, you will be lost. And you have to read all the Bible. You have to have an overall understanding of all the Bible to be able to understand the book of Genesis. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 18, and it reads, I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. So we see that this serpent in Isaiah 27 and verse 1 is a race of men. That's all that it is. It's a race of men. Let's go back. Let's get some more precepts to hone in the point. So we see that they would have the characteristics of a serpent. They have the characteristics of a beast. Why? Because animals don't keep the laws of the Most High God right now. Animals activate or act off of instinct. It's our job to act off of what? The laws of the Most High. That's what separates man from animals. We have the capability and the intellect to, guess what? To apply God's laws. And when we don't keep God's laws, this is what the Most High God considered us as beasts. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 27 and verse number 1. In that day, the Lord with his sword and great strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent. Why? Because a serpent bites and it puts his venom into you. Let's get that in the book of Psalms. They have pierced our people. What have they pierced our people with and poisoned our people with? Religion, Christianity, politics, all these things that have absolutely nothing to do with the Most High. Isaiah chapter yes, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse number 3, and it reads, the wicked are estranged from the womb, They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Verse number 4 is the point. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stop at their ear. Because if brothers and sisters don't know, snakes don't have ears. They feel the vibration through their body. Meaning, we trying to tell Esau this and that about the body. They don't hear. We trying to tell them about what? Black police brutality. They don't hear. They don't care about those things. Verse number 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. Because when they bite our people with Christianity, our people are walking dead. I'm talking about just straight up. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which would never hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so widely. Let's see what David said unto them. Break their teeth, O God, in their mouths. Break out their great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. So we're seeing the characteristics of this particular Leviathan, which is a race of people. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 27 and verse number 1. In that day, the Lord with his sword and great strong sword, Christ, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent. Why? Because they bite people with all type of madness, wine, doctrines, religions. It says, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, because the Most High God made him wicked. He made him like that. You cannot make straight what the Most High God has made crooked. I want that precept. And he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Now, who is the dragon? Let's go to the book of Revelations, chapter 12. Home and in the point. Chapter 12, verse 1. Precept must be upon precept. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 12 and verse number 1. Now we get into the point. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head were 12 crowns of a crown of 12 stars. I want to get straight to the point. Verse number 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. This heaven is talking about rulership over the planet Earth. We got to stop thinking. Remember, whenever you're reading the scriptures, a lot of times it's not going to be plain upon tables. Yes, there are many scriptures that break down the scriptures easy. When you talk about love, what is love? It's the keeping the commandments. This is a deep parable. This is a parable and a similitude comparing one nation to a particular animal or a beast. Verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. This heaven is going into rulership over the earth. And behold, a great red dragon. Why did it red dragon? Come on, man. Because what? Genesis 25 and 23, Esau came out what? Red. This is talking about a nation of men that have the ferocity of a dragon. Think about Esau. Think about the characteristics of Esau and think about the nation of Edom. When they come through, a dragon comes, burns down stuff. 9 times out of 10 is red when it's portrayed in the movies. It's destroying everything. People have to run. It comes and take over the land. Those are the characteristics of the Edomites today. What nation of people have that particular characteristics? Think about the Arabs. They crazy, but they don't do what Esau do. Think about Moab. They ain't doing what Esau do. Chinese people. Think about Japanese people. They not doing what Esau do. No other nation on the planet Earth is doing what Esau is doing in the earth. That's why the Most High God compares him to a great red dragon. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. What is that going into? The 7 major Edomite empires and the 10 common markets, which is called what? EU. This is plain. Going into what? Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, Great Britain. These are 7 major Caucasian empires in the earth. Telling you plainly, this Leviathan that Christ is coming back to slain. Let's go back. No, it can be a little long because we want to home in the point. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 27 and verse 1. In that day, The Lord with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Because we know America is where? America is everywhere. It's in all seas. And we know in certain contexts that the sea is making reference to what? To the nations as well. That's why it's also giving them the characteristics of Leviathan. Leviathan plays all day in the seas. What do you think Esau is doing? They easily pulled up on Iran with warships. They go anywhere in the world, man. Those warships are like floating cities, man. Let's get this in Nahum to kind of home in the point. Oh, Habakkuk. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. We get straight to the point. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, meaning Esau sins by his doctrine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his hell, his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So we see that Esau, they can never keep at home. That's why they're always in the seeds. It's another one that I want. And it's another one I want with the seeds. Is it Zechariah? Flee from the land of the north. Damn, what is that one? Is it Jeremiah? Might be Jeremiah 51. The brothers and sisters know what I'm talking about. Put it in the chat. Hold on. Round about her. Fallen, destroyed. Yes, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse number 12. Then we be getting excited when we find the precepts, man, the home in the point. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse number 12, and it reads, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambush. This is the Most High God talking to his prophets out here to, guess what? To prophesy against Babylon, to set up watchmen, to tell our people about the impending danger that's coming to this place. Prepare the ambushes, for the Lord had both devised and had done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So remember, the scripture says that they are double to that which is. So at this time, it was literally talking about the land of Babylon because they had us in captivity. And the Most High God was sending us out there at that time to pronounce judgment against Babylon for what they have done to the children of Israel. So we know at this present time, in the time of Jeremiah, that he was ultimately going to send the Persian and Medes. But remember, it's also talking about America in this time because they have the same characteristics. And we're over here in captivity. And it's our job as prophets to warn our people about Christ coming and taking down this nation. Verse number 13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. The Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So we see how America dwells on many waters going into literal waters and also going into many nations. So when we read Isaiah 27, that Leviathan is going into Esau. You understand that, Sister Mary Houston? I know it was a lot. Shalom. Gerard, Shalom. Said it's a KJV too. I'm looking at another and it's lowercase con, sis. Oh, that's not con. My bad, God. Yes, in Second Chronicles 2 and 6, Jehoram and Joram, yeah, they're the same person, con, sis. Did you understand that, Adara? Yeah, we must. We're gonna let the Most High. Good, brother Don Israel. Thank you for asking out. Yes, Honey Badger. Cain is Esau regenerated. Think about the characteristics of Cain. Cain did what? Killed his brother. Esau was doing what? Trying to kill Jacob. They have the same characteristics, the same spirit. The Most High God brought Esau back, brought Cain back, manifested in Esau. Because when you read the book of Genesis, the Most High God put particular plagues upon Cain. He put particular plagues upon Cain. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse number 8, and it reads, and Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper, being all smart with the Most High? Most High had something for him. Verse number 10, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth. So because of him murdering his brother, the Most High God cursed him, or put what? Judgment upon Cain. Let's see what one of these judgments is. Verse 12. Verse 11. And now thou art cursed from the earth, which opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Verse number 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Meaning when he goes to till the ground, it wouldn't yield seed unto him. It wouldn't yield crops unto him. This is one of the judgments. This is mainly why Esau does what? Experimentations in GMOs. A lot of times brothers have to bring it up to today. We trying to keep it back in that time. That curse followed them all the way up as a nation of people because they started to do what? Multiply. Because what? You are your father. You are your father. I'm going to read it again. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Meaning she wouldn't reap the benefits of what? Sowing seeds in the earth. That's why a lot of times Esau does this. That's why it's no seed in the damn grapes. They mixing and combining fruit. They doing all type of wickedness, man, because of these curses. Let's keep reading. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. Now, a fugitive is a person that's running from the strong arm of justice. A vagabond is just a bum living from place to place that he's not supposed to. What nation of people has those characteristics? Esau never paid for slavery. He never paid for 100 years of lynching. He never paid against the crimes of the indigenous people of the tribe of Gad, of the tribe of Issachar, killing over 70 million Native American Indians of Gad and of Issachar, and just killing 100 million of us on the Atlantic slave trade. They never paid for that. This is how we can see who this nation is easily through the precepts. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. Verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Now he's crying to the Lord, you putting too much on me, Lord. Verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me, showing you that it was other people in the earth. How would they find him? Because the Most High God is showing you how he took his melanin from him. This is the only way. How could they have found him? He looked like everybody else in the planet, or if they didn't know who he was. Let's keep reading. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayed Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. Why? Because the Most High God is saving Cain for himself. This is how you know that Esau is regenerated from Cain, going into Edomites today, Caucasians. They haven't paid for their crimes. They take everybody's land. What the hell are they doing in Australia? You know damn where their land don't belong. What the hell are y'all doing in South Africa trying to take that land? Hell, they done claimed the moon as their own place. That's what a vagabond does. It goes somewhere and it stays there. These places don't belong to y'all. Y'all removing landmarks that the Most High God gave y'all commandments not to do. So these curses are played out with Esau on a grander scale. Let's keep reading. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slay Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain. What is that mark? That mark was the Most High God taking Cain melanin. That's why when you read in Genesis chapter 25, verse 23, you see that, guess what? Esau is the only race of people that don't have melanin. We're talking about a race. We're not talking about albinos, because albinos are not a nation of people. You have many of them, but they're not a race of people. Esau is a race. They're the only nation that don't have any melanin, and they know it's something wrong with them. They know it. That's why they're always researching and experimenting on us. Let's keep reading. The Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. Because we know, even according to the scriptures, when you have leprosy, our people stayed away from leprosy. That's an unclean spirit. This is how we can see how, guess what? Cain was Esau regenerated. Because when you bring it up to today, Esau still has these particular same characteristics down to the T, man. Chris has always say that 144K will rule in heaven with Yah, and the rest will be here on earth. That's why the scriptures say the Lord's Prayer in heaven as it is on earth. Same thing. Meaning we going to rule on the planet earth. Honey Badger said, how do Israelites supposed to get married? Is fiance, engagement, wedding rings, Egyptians or Greek customs? Yeah. We don't read about us getting wedding rings in the scriptures. So our customs was that the parents would arrange marriages. This is what we are known for. We are known for arranged marriages, because the father of each family would do what? Would see what type of family was being raised, that son or that daughter was being raised by. We picked marriages based upon family structures. So if you know this father, his wife had a good name, 9 times out of 10, that child, that daughter or that son will be raised right. That's why the scripture says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and he should never depart from it. That's why the scripture says that. So this is how we had marriages. They would arrange it. Say, hey, I want my daughter to marry your son. They wouldn't know anything about it. And guess what? Let's go to the book of Tobit. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 7 and verse 13, and it reads, then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias, saying, behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father, and he blessed him. So you have the father give away his daughter's hand in marriage to another respectable family. Brother that's raised in the truth, that know to do good by his wife. Verse 14. And it tells you, it said, take them after the law of Moses. Verse 14, and called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants, and sealed it. So they got together. Hey, I want my daughter to marry you. They got what we would call today, what's an instrument of covenants? Going into a marriage license. This is plain. Because we weren't a nation that didn't do things out of order. We put things in writing. A marriage license would be nothing different, man. Nothing at all different. Verse 15. Then they began to eat. After Reuel called his wife Edna and said unto her sister, prepare another chamber and bring her in thither. So they will be presented together. They would have the wedding feast. And in the wedding feast, you would have the bed chambers where they would go in and do what? And consummate the marriage. Consummate means they would go in, have intercourse to seal, or guess what? Complete the marriage. It says, which when she had done bidden her, and she brought her thither, and she wept, and she received the tears of her daughter, and said unto her, be of good comfort, my daughter. The Lord of heaven and earth give thee joy for this thy sorrow. Be of good comfort, my daughter. And when they had supped, they brought Tobias in unto her. And as he went in, he remembered the words of Raphael, and took the ashes of the perfumes, and put the heart and the liver of the fish thereon, and made a smoke therewith. So when Tobias went in, he went into the bedchambers. He, in this particular instance, he had to give a specific sacrifice because the sister had demons on her. That guess what? Once he did the sacrifice, those demons would leave her so that they wouldn't kill Tobias. The point that we're making is that they went into the bedchambers to consummate the wedding. This is known as an Israelite tradition of marriage. So no, we don't read in the scriptures where you put a ring on. It goes back to Egyptian customs to where you put a ring on, that spirit is binded with your spirit forever. It was not a part of the Israelite customs. We don't read about that in the scriptures. Shalom, Sister Danielle. How you doing, sis? All praises. Shalom, Sister Genesis. How you doing, sis? Shalom, King James of Judah. Shalom, Mark. Yeah, Trump. Yeah, he an orange dragon. That's why he put on so much orange paint. He trying to hide his redness, boy. They showed a clip of him one time, boy. He red as hell, man. I'm talking about red as hell. Shalom, brother Bala. How you doing, Doc? Shalom, Micah. Yeah, Shalom, Malak. Two questions. It's a shame for a man to have long hair. And how do we know Moab is Chinese today? The water. That's a good question, Doc. So, no, it's not a shame for a man to have long hair. It's just a shame for a man to wear it in a effeminate way. An example that we always give is what? Samson. We give Samson, even the angel said that he was going to pick up Jeremiah by a lock of his hair. So we even have, let's pull this up. Assyrians. Two. Show you something. We're gonna show you a Assyrian motif or a carving in stone. Let's pull this up right quick, man. Slovakia. If brothers and sisters could see it, look at this brother, man. Look at this brother with his long hair. Look at this brother with his long hair. These brothers have braids. Can y'all see it? Give me one in the chat if y'all can see it. I got to go back. I want to make sure that y'all can see it. See y'all, see these brothers, man. Can y'all see it, man? Look at these brothers' long hair, braided, locks of hair. Look at them with their fringes on. Look at the thick noses showing you, even during this time, this is of the tribe of Ephraim, the northern tribe being taken into captivity. Our people had long hair. Can y'all see it? Put a one in the chat if y'all could have, if y'all saw it. So when it talks about that, it's just talking about brothers wearing it in a effeminate way. We could have long hair. Because remember, Samson couldn't even, that's where his strength came from. We know ultimately his strength came from the Most High, but he used it as a allegory in the book of Judges. There's the book of Judges, chapter, get straight to the point. The book of Judges, bear with me, brothers and sisters. There's the book of Judges, chapter 13 and verse, damn it. Get straight to the point. The spectacles of the woman appeared unto me. I'm trying to get straight to the point. Because even as being a Nazarite, let me see. Damn it. Oh, this is the book of Judges, chapter 13. I got to highlight that myself in my other Bibles. The book of Judges, chapter 13, and verse number 5, and it reads, For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto the God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. So even in here, we have what the Most High God commanded, that guess what? She did not cut Samson's hair. Verse number 5. So remember, Samson had long hair. What was your other question? Not. Let me go back up. Shalom, brother Cedric Ferguson. Shalom. Oh, Khan. It says, and how do we know Moab is Chinese today? That's a great question. Now, that's a great question. No. So we know that Mongoloism is the product of incest. That's where they get the eyes from. When you pull up Mongoloism, let's read the book of Genesis. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter. Because even in the book of Genesis, we see what the Most High God, he's still creating nations in the book of Genesis. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 30. And it reads, and Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar. And he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. So this is after the Most High God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah with the other 5 cities as well. And they thought that they were the last people on the planet Earth. So they had an idea to do what? Get their father drunk and sleep with him to produce children. Verse 32, come, let us make our father drunk, drink wine, Salaki, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink that night. The firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drunk wine this night also, and go in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him. Let's jump down, verse 37. And the firstborn bare his son and called his name Moab. The same is the father of all the Moabites unto this day. So we see what is the product of incest. Let's pull that up, man. Let's look up Mongoloism. We see the eyes. This is the product of Mongoloidism, the slanted eyes. We see it as the product a lot of times of incest. So even when we look this up, so we see with the eyes. Now let's look up the Moabite god Chamos. It's artifacts everywhere, man. Remember, we are not privy to these things. All praise to the Most High. We have the internet, but you can't imagine what Esau is finding day after day over there in our land, digging up and searching these artifacts, man. So it's Moabite god Chamos. Let me see if I can find this picture. Yes, the exact picture I want. Now put a 1 in the chat. When you look at this, can y'all see this? Look at them eyes, man. Man, come on, man. Who does this? What nation of people? Because remember, people made gods that look like who? That look like them 9 times out of 10. Look at that god Chamash. Look at these eyes. Look at this face. Come on, man. A lot of times these things, these artifacts are out here. Now Esau tries to deceive the people. That's why you have to look deep upon these things, man. Look at this. It's plain as day. Can y'all see that? Could y'all see that? So we see what their gods look like. Slowness, like you said, underdeveloped. Did you see that Ox that was asking about that? I want to make sure that Ox saw that. Did you see that, Micah? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And even like Brother Yazaliah said, the sons of Cain was making weapons. That's another great point. Because it's the same spirit. Even when you read down on that wicked side of that lineage. That's right. And that's a great point, Brother Body. Body said they don't only just take the resources, but the identity of the lands as well. It's a great point. How much do they have of what, Brother Lamar? Shalom, Brother Tyler Hansbro. Shalom. Yeah, it is, sis. Thanks for asking, sister. It says, Sister Danielle Salaki, it says, been an hour, so a man wearing 4 ponytails in his head is a no. Me personally, I wouldn't wear them. And it depends on like with those man buns, brothers and sisters should know what's an effeminate hairstyle for a guy. Prime example, if a man have long hair, and this brother come around me with a wrap, bruh, let a brother come around me with a wrap. I'm gonna probably personally cut that brother hair off myself. Some stuff like that, finger waves and all that different type of crap, man. Our people is crazy, man. Or with the rollers, how brothers used to do. I don't know why they would do that, man. Let a brother come around me with a man bun or something like that, man. Brothers and sisters know what a effeminate hairstyle for a man is, though. But did you get that? Yeah, I wouldn't wear that Prince Stu. Sister Andres Carter, Shalom, sister, says you mentioned don't use the blue book. Wow, what blue book? On Judges 16:17. No, it doesn't say. I don't. Gehazi in First Samuel was an Israelite that lost his Israelite status due to melanin. Nah. So you had people in the Bible that had leprosy. You know the precepts, so we can get straight to it. I ain't been here in a while. First Samuel, I think Gehazi, if I'm not mistaken, where he had that leprosy cleaved to him. But no, Gehazi wasn't Israelite. I think he was of the Syrian army or something like that. Honey Badger Q, he says, I'm reading where it says, after God drove out Adam, he put flaming swords in to keep the way of the cherubim's tree. Was he guarding the tree of knowledge so no one would eat of it? Yes, but not literal, brother Honey Badger. He's basically just keeping the true understanding of the Bible out of the hands of certain people. Meaning, during the time of Adam, the knowledge was out there. It was Adam's job to teach all the nations God's laws, statutes, and commandments, and the understanding of the scriptures. Once he failed, the Most High God took all that away from him. That's why he placed those angels. That's why you have Christianity. That's why you have many different religions out here, because what? No one knows the truth of the Bible except the people of the Most High God, meaning the Israelites that keep the commandments of the Most High and have faith in Yahushua. Those are the stipulations. You just can't just be an Israelite and still thinking you're going to know. No, you got to be keeping the commandments and have faith in Yahushua. Then the Most High God gives you that understanding. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 15. This is what I want. Oh, 4. My bad. I was telling y'all. 4 earlier. Is it 3 and 21? Yes. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 22. 24, and it reads, so he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims of what are angels, with a flaming sword, which turneth every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So we have to remember the book of Genesis is metaphors and parables and similitudes. It's comparing one thing to another. The Most High God don't literally have where you can see an angel just waving a flaming sword. No, he has spirits on the earth, because that's all a cherubim is. That's all an angel is. It's a spirit that's put out there to, guess what, to keep peoples from the true understanding of the Bible. That's all that that's going into, to where nobody is able to really understand the Bible but the Israelites that keep the commandments of the Most High. Yes, they come from Lot, but incest, Con. Lot and both his daughters. So you have Moab, which is the Chinese people, and Ammon, which is the Japanese people. Oh, the blue letter book. No, it's nothing wrong with you having a blue letter book, sis, but you have to also have discernment with the blue letter. Because even in the blue letter, it talks about the Trinity. And we know that the Trinity is not of the scriptures. So you have to be careful with that. You have to have discernment. But no, you can use the blue letter. You just have to use discernment and wisdom and make sure that it filters through the Bible. Remember, the Bible is the source. If the Bible is not teaching about the Trinity, then don't try to use that word, or be careful with Esau trying to use that word in the blue letter. Oh, 2 Kings 5 and 20 with Gehazi. Is that what you talking about? 2 Kings 5 and 20. Yeah, with Elisha. Who did I say? Samuel. Salakia. It's Elisha. No, it's one Gehazi, not Naaman. I have to look it up right quick. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Khan. Brother Yes Alive, thanks for the help out. Naaman in that Syrian army. It was a Syrian. Is that it? Okay, that is it. Salakia. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 20 through 27. Going into the servant of Elisha. Let me see. Let me see. Excuse me. Salakia, I'm confused. This is the book of 2 Kings. Thanks, chapter 5, verse 20. And it reads, but Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, behold, my master has spared Naaman this Syrian, and not receiving at his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him. So Gehazi followed after Naaman. And when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from his chariot to meet him and said, all well. And he said, all is well, my master. It says, all is well. My master had sent me, saying, behold, even now there is come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garment. And Naaman said, Be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in his 2 bags with 2 changes of garment, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took from them their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. And he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee, when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments, and olive yards, and vineyards, and sheep, and oxen, and men service and maid service? So Elisha was getting on Gehazi because he was out of the spirit, taking that money and those particular things. Verse 27, the leprosy thereof of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper, as white as snow. So when we read about this, I mean, we don't see in the context, and Salaki, brothers and sisters, on me getting it mixed up with Naaman. But we know that we had servants. So we see as a servant now, it doesn't negate that, guess what, Israel, we can have servants among our people, but I wouldn't credit him as being an Israelite. Yeah, I wouldn't credit him as being an Israelite. Con, I think so. Soldier Call. Thank y'all, brothers, for that, man. Says God made the Chaldeans nation evil too, right? Yeah. Remember, the Chaldeans ultimately come from the Babylonians. So yeah, they was wicked as hell too. Yeah, they are different people. The Chaldeans come from out of Shem, but remember, during this time, Edomites wasn't even made yet. That's when we went to Genesis chapter 11, verses 10 on down. It's showing how Abraham's seeds come from the Chaldeans. And the Most High God pulled them out to be his chosen vessel that he was going to bring his nation through. So the Edomites were not even made as a nation of people yet. So they can't be the Edomites. Remember, the Edomites wasn't made until Genesis chapter 25. So if the Edomites wasn't made, then the Amalekites couldn't be made. Because even like we was going over with the brothers in class yesterday, we can literally trace Esau's lineage all the way down to the white man today. Literally. So out of Esau, you have the Edomites. Out of the Edomites, he had Eliphaz. Eliphaz, one of Esau's first sons, had Amalek. Then Amalek had Agag. Then out of Agag comes Haman, the same Haman that was trying to get us killed during the Feast of Purim, who we made a high holy day after. Then after Haman comes Alexander the Greek, the Macedonian. We know that Alexander the Greek is a white man. Then out of the Greeks come the Romans. That's why they was called the Greco-Romans. Alexander, you have his 4 generals: Cassander, Seleucus, Ptolemy, and Lysimachus. Out of that Seleucus dynasty and Epiphanes, remember, Judas Maccabees was going to war with their sons. And eventually they got the upper hand over them. And later they put them under submission and forced them to keep our commandments under John Hyrcanus. John Hyrcanus married Antipater's, one of Antipater's daughter, Antipater the Edomite. This is Herod's father. This is how we see how the Greeks went to the Romans. Same race of people all the way down to the Americans today. The Spaniards, the French, the Russians, the Germans. All of them is one race of people. Honey Badger says John 3:16 is not in the Ethiopian Bible. Where did that scripture come from? Well, remember, a lot of times people kind of look to the Ethiopian Bible. That's not like one of the oldest Bibles that are out there. A lot of times people think about the Ethiopians because they have been around for a long time, but it's not the oldest Bible. About the hair print, Stu, I think I did. You talking about the 4 ponytails? If they a ponytails like a girl, no, I wouldn't wear them. Now, it's not to say like you didn't have like the Pop Smoke braids where you had the 1, the 2, and the 3, and the 4. But if you wearing 4 ponytails like a girl, if that's what you're referring to, then no. Says, okay, I'm almost 60. The Trinity is a new doctrine. Wasn't no confusion in my day. I use it for Acts 13:1. What you mean? Says, kind of explain. Meaning you didn't run with the Trinity, sis? Kind of explain a little more. No, just answer you. I'm not purposely. Oh no, I didn't see that question. I says shaking this brother purposely ignoring me, and he knows why you're such a serpent. Who's this, brother? No, I'm not purposely ignoring you, brother. I didn't see your comment, brother. I mean, if you want to come on, you can come on channel, brother. I mean, it's not that deep. I didn't see you, brother. I probably don't miss some more brothers and sisters. Says Timothy, Benaniah, one of your members have 4 ponytails in their head for the longest. That's literally why I asked you that question. But that's my point, Ak. Is he wearing it in a girly way? Now, we can have braids. I literally just pulled up brothers having braids. Brother, just come in and kind of explain what you mean. I'll put a link in the chat. Because what brother are you accusing that of? Talking about brother. Oh, he talking about brother you call? He can wear braids. You can wear braids, brother. What do you mean? How's that hypocrisy? I literally just said, long as he's not wearing it in a girly, that's not girly. Yeah. So let me ask you, can brothers wear braids? We literally just pulled it up. That was a part of our heritage. That's why I pulled up the Assyrian taking us into captivity for one to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You see that we did have long hair, and for 2, you seen that their hair was braided. So, but you could click the link up. Just click the link up because I don't. Yeah, we can come in and talk. Turning a afro into 4 ponytails. I'll let you decide if it's girly. So let me ask you, Prince Stu, can brothers wear braids? Because I just see brother you call her braided. So can he wear braids? Yes or no? Now you on. Answer my question, or are you running? Yes or no, can brothers wear braids, brother? Answer the question, brother. Answer the question. Well, who you talking about? Brother, just click the link and come on. Because I don't understand what you're saying. You could just explain it more if you just come on. Because I don't be looking at brother's hair like that. What type of a... Captain Yara had 4 ponytails in his not too long ago. I didn't look at his hair like that. I'm not staring at brother's hair like that, brother. That's kind of weird of you just to kind of nitpick. I'm not staring at his hair like that. Yeah, that is a little sus. I'm not looking at Captain Yara's hair, to be honest. And I see Captain Yara wears her all type of way. He braided. He got good hair, so he can style it many different ways. But I ain't never seen him like that, so I'm not looking at his hair, brother. If you know me, you know that I just don't talk over people, brother. Stop it. Now you making excuses. If you don't want to click the link, that's fine, brother. But don't bear false witness against me, because you brothers and sisters know I give brothers and sisters opportunities to talk. So don't come with that. That's just a cap. So to be honest, I hadn't looked at Captain Yari's hair. He wears hair so different. I'm not looking at Captain Yari like that, brother. I'm gonna be honest, man. It's crazy. It says, I'm answering you about the blue book. It tells people how Niger is pronounced. You said don't use it because. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine, sis. Remember, I told you it's books out there that have some truths with some lies. You just want to make sure that you use discernment with those books. I have a lot of books that have some truths with a lot of lies. So I'm able to discern that. So no, sis, you can use the book for that specific purpose. That's fine, sis. Like you said, as long as you just understand that the Trinity is not of the Bible. That's it. For that Septimius Severus says, yes, brother, me and can wear braids. I never said. Oh, well, okay. If he can wear braids, I only seen his hair braided. I'm not looking at him wearing like he didn't like braids or something, like he wore it in a girly type way. That's the point that I'm saying. Yeah, that's right. Kind of says, is it a commandment for men to get circumcised if they didn't when they were younger? No homo. No, that's fine. That's what we go over. That's what the scriptures is for. Let's go to the book of what is that? Romans 8. Romans chapter 8. So no, I hadn't seen. I ain't seen wearing a girly way. I see him wear braids. So brother Honey Badger, this is the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse. What do I want? First Corinthians chapter 8. For neither uncircumcision. Oh, First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 18. Salakia. Verse 19. We're gonna get straight to the point. This is the book of First Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 19. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of God, that every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called. So the Bible tells us in this time, that's why we have grace, because in order for that to work, they would have supposed to gotten circumcised the 8th day. So it's still to none effect. They still would have been in sin. That's why the Most High God has given us Christ. Let's prove that. Let's go to the book of Leviticus. They were supposed to have been circumcised the 8th day. So even if a brother is trying to get it in his old age, I mean, it's too late, basically. That's why Paul was letting them know that the sacrifices is going to do us to none effect. Why? Because now we have Christ. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 12, and verse number 3, and it reads, and in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. So if it was a boy, you had to be circumcised the 8th day. That's why Paul is giving us a better understanding in the New Testament about there is neither circumcision nor uncircumcision. But what? But the keeping of the law. No, Con, we totally understand. That's why we tell brothers and sisters to keep the law to the best of their ability. It says, when did it get to Captain Yara here? Yeah, that's who was talking about. He was talking about Captain Yara, not about Brother Yakar. Danielle said, yes, he asked him, don't bear false witness, examine the whole matter. Benaniah, don't the Bible say, prove a friend and provoke your brothers the good works? Not all of a sudden I'm pointing out problems, and now it's all of a sudden I don't pay attention to this. No, I'm gonna tell you, it's not about you pointing out the problems. We welcome that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what you're talking about. Why? Because I don't look at men's hair like that. I'm saying if a brother brings it up to me, then yes, we will address it. But I'm not just literally going around looking at brothers' hair, especially Captain Yari's hair. He can wear many diverse hairstyles. Yeah, I've seen Captain Yari have all type of hairstyles. So I'm not looking at it like that. That's the point that I'm making. We have no problems about brothers addressing one another about certain things that they see that we should fix. I don't have a problem with correction. If that's what you're getting at. Or being a hypocrite, making it seem like I know that brother is wearing it like that and I'm purposely not saying nothing. No, I'm not paying attention for one, two brothers' hair like that. That's the point that I'm making. Yeah, and a lot of times people do try to find fault, you know, and that's okay. We take that because guess what? We're trying to be as perfect as we can be. So I don't take no offense to it at all. Shalom, Mama Mariah. Yeah, we don't have no problem with it. Prince too. Hey, but hey, remember, with that same judgment you give, hey, like the scripture say, judge not, lest ye be judged. Just kind of keep that on the mind. Judge not, lest ye be judged. Thanks. Brother Timothy said, yes, I was interested in the time from 70 AD after the fall of Jerusalem up until the fall of Rome. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is some history. Yes, baby. I'm finna take a cough minutes. Doctor Sister Hanaya over here.
Was you coughing? You need help.
Said I need help. You coughing, baby. You need help. Yeah, Khan, in the from Babylon to Timbuktu. So we also go to the book of Luke, chapter 21, verses 24. And then from Babylon to Timbuktu kind of fills in some gaps. So from Babylon to Timbuktu, it kind of fills in some gaps, not all of them. It talks about how when we got into Africa, you know, we took our laws, statutes, and commandments with us, and we absorbed some of them into our laws. This is from Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84, and it reads, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. So during the time of 65 to 70 AD, the Romans came to destroy Jerusalem as Christ told them. This is what this is going into in Luke chapter 21, verse 24. And he told them that if y'all in Jerusalem, leave. And for the people that's coming in to try to celebrate high holy days, don't come in. These be the days of vengeance, meaning the curses of Deuteronomy. This is the book of Luke, chapter 24, and verse number 20. And it reads, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. What compassed with what armies? Titus and Vespasian. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written therein may be fulfilled. Going into Deuteronomy 28, verses 49 through 52. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For For there shall be a great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So Christ is letting us know, for the ones that didn't leave, they were either killed or they were put in slavery. And for the ones that did fled, they fled into the interiors of Africa, into the west coast of Africa, where we dwelt there for approximately 1,000 years until 1916, to where they started to take us into the Americas in the Atlantic slave trade. Also going into what? After Rome, going into a general, an Israelite named Septimius Severus. Even though he was an Israelite, he wasn't for Israel. He sided more with Rome. He ruled over Rome after that particular time. That's a lot of history that we'll have to go through a lot. Just a brief little breakdown. Yeah, and he can be contentious, man. That don't bother me at none. I just want brothers to, like, if it's something legitimate, just let us know, because we have no problem with calling out brothers being unrighteous. I just can't recall. That's the problem. And I'm thinking that he think that I know that he was doing that and I didn't say nothing about it. But that's not the case. Because we put checks and balances on each other. Calling out righteousness and bearing false witness is two different things. That's right. So he don't understand that you are masculine and heterosexual. I'm gonna be honest, you got a point, 100 Bags. I'm like, bro, I'm not looking at a brother's hair. I'm just not like that. Shalom, brother Damaris. How you been? I can't see you in here in a minute, man. Yeah, I know, sis. I'm gonna take it. That's why I didn't put up no arguments. Yeah, come. I ain't gonna lie. All praise, brother Jose. I know we disagree, but I gave me some great books. I ain't gonna even lie. Shalom, Sister Elaine, House of Officer Keenan. Shalom. Look, I'm talking about get him, sis. So according to the scriptures, our tithes, we don't pay tithes. Your tithes were your food and your crops. Let's go to the book of let's go to the book of Numbers. Deuteronomy, Salakia. According to the Bible, your tithing was your food and your crops. We give alms, like it says in the book of Matthew, chapter 6. Giving alms is more associated with money. And it's not just associated with money. It's also the work and the time that you put in amongst the congregation. Because you may have brothers and sisters that don't have money. That's why brothers and sisters come in, help out amongst the building. Brothers and sisters buy groceries for the building that is counted as alms. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15. Time be going by fast, man. Bro, this is crazy. Damn, Esau playing with the time. No such damn thing as daylight saving times, man. Esau is hell, man. I'm talking about just straight confusion out here, man. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, Salaki. Chapter 14, verse 22, and it reads, Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed. It didn't say money. That the field bringeth forth year by year. So tithing, which means a tenth, was tithing of your seed and your crops. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thy oil, the firstling of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God had blessed thee, then thou shalt turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shall go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And once you went to that place, then you will buy those animals, those foods, those crops to be able to give as a sacrifice or tithing to the Levitical priest. So tithing was never money. Now, alms in the scripture, that was associated with money in certain aspects. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse number 2, and it reads, "Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men." Meaning, when you're trying to give money to the congregation, and I got this hot $1,000 that I'm finna give to the battle axes. Hoo ha, brother, you putting on a show. No, you don't do that. You just come hand your money to brothers that take up arms. And guess what? Be going about your business. Profess those things, because guess what? Arms can, guess what? Lay up grace and mercy from the Most High. So this is what you give. You give alms. Con, I'm glad you've been good. Con, I said, aside of this damn call. Shalom, brother Fred. Where was you at? You went in class yesterday. Con, I'm glad Brother Lamar in the spirit, for hard times within the village and the congregation. Those arms are set up for that. But when brothers and sisters fall on hard times, that's right. Who's in the spirit in this thing, man? Keeping brothers on point. Let's read that. This is the book of Acts, chapter 8. Is that one? Or chapter 4. And gave to all as had need. Yes. This is the book of Acts, chapter 4 and verse 34. And it reads, "Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them, and brought the prices of the things that were sold, and laid them down at the apostles' feet. And distribution was made unto every man according as he had need." So those arms are laid up for brothers and sisters that may fall on hard terms. Yeah, it's crazy. Most High God told us how to keep track of time using the sun and the moon. But with that, man, we give our honor and praise to the Most High. Man, that 2 hours went by fast as hell. That's crazy. I guess time flies, man, when you're going through the scriptures, man. You know, that's something we love to do. Give our honor and praise to the Most High. Remember, brothers and sisters, we have Passover coming up. Remember, man, don't be buying too much leaven. Leaven is what? Comparable to sin. So you have the carnal side, you have the spiritual side. So you're not wasting money buying up a lot of stuff. Remember, we have a list that has leaven in it. Your cakes, your little Debbie cakes, snacks, Eggo waffles, certain cereals. It's a lot of stuff that has leaven in it. Like I say, it's okay for brothers and sisters still eating a little fast food, but you want to check those places. Like I think this place down here, Louisiana Chicken, they don't have leaven in their batter. Hey, you trying to go to those burger places, you better eat a damn lettuce burger. Remember, we want to start preparing these things, man. Brothers and sisters trying to celebrate the Passover with the battle axes, man, reach out to us, man. I said last question says, how holy days do we have? So we have, let's count them. So the first one would be Passover. Well, technically, we just go in order. Technically, the first one would be the 7-day Sabbath. That's a high holy day every week. And the second would be a new moon. That's the second that we have every month. The next one would be Passover. The next one would be unleavened bread. The next one would be what? Pentecost. The one after that would be what? Memorial blowing the trumpets. The one after that would be the Day of Atonement. One after that would be Tabernacles. The one after that would be the Feast of Dedication. After that, we have what? The Day of Simon. We also have what? The destruction of Nicanor. We also have what? The Feast of Purim. So that would be like 12 high holy days that we celebrate. More than that, because I'm not technically not counting all the 7-day Sabbaths or the monthly So it's more than that. But those are the main ones. The main ones we have like 7. Yeah, con. Did you get that, brother? Honey Badger. But with that, man, we give all honor and praise to the Most High and to His Son Yahweh Shah. Pray that brothers and sisters was edified. Pray to answer your questions through the Spirit, man. And we say, make sure that brothers and sisters are preparing themselves for Passover, getting in the Passover spirit. Making sure that, guess what? You get in the Passover spirit to have those spirits pass over you. You know, staying in the spirit, man. Making sure that brothers and sisters reaching out for counsel. That's what we're here for. You know, love brothers and sisters. I pray that y'all stay in the spirit. What law do we want to get? What is that one? I like the one that twin. That one in Deuteronomy. Yeah. This damn mucus, y'all. I know, right? I'm stopped up like a mug. Getting jacked up. Damn. Brothers and sisters, y'all put some laws up in there. You know, we always kind of want to put a law in there that goes with the spirit. I was thinking about that Daniel 7:25, but one of the classics. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, and verse number 26, and it reads, "And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye shall be mine." And this is what our job is. We don't partake in this system. We don't partake in their religions, their high holidays. We don't partake in none of those things. We partake in what the Most High God is commanding us to do. We got Officer Donovan in this thing, man. Shalom, I can spirit help him bruise out. Leviticus chapter 23, like Officer Donovan is putting on the chat is where you can find all the high holy days. So yes, make sure you read the whole book of Leviticus. I mean the whole chapter of Leviticus chapter 23. It's a good read. But with that, man, we give our honor to the Most High and to His Son Yahweh Shah. Say shalom,